Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello.
Hello. I was gonna say it's good to be back, but I've been back for a while. And
I know. Me too. Me too. I was literally thinking, I'm like, do we have anything? No. Welcome everyone to this week. Okay. Don't know the times, the dates, the numbers of the time of the day and the month, but well, yeah. I have a note. Like it literally says note, and I just looked at it. So let's see what we think about it.
Okay.
See what we think about it. Okay, so I wrote this note, and I think it was because sometimes, like when I'm editing, I hear things. Well, like I'm hearing us, but then I'm like, oh, I have a thought, is what I meant. So then I was thinking this about Molly. What if Cody and Molly get pregnant soon, and then she would like join a police family, right? She'd have Mac, Anna, Robert. And for some reason, I wrote, talk about messy. I don't know why I wrote that, like to myself as a note. And then it's like getting and then like getting pregnant close to Sasha. Right. So this idea that she's getting pregnant, and then Cody, but like Molly and Cody are kind of like what Sasha and Brando were, where they were like got pregnant really soon. But like imagine Molly in a messy life situation when she's so perfect.
Well, one, I love that you talk to yourself like a friend. I think that's very important and adorable because we all should, to be honest, and be
How do
less
you
critical
write
of
your notes?
ourselves.
If you have a thought, how do you write it? You don't write an extra comment like talk about messy, like you don't write like
No, I don't.
You don't write comments about your own thoughts. Thought on thoughts. Okay,
But I might
didn't know
start
that.
doing that. I do love what
Okay.
you're saying though, because I'm really watching it with especially what she said. I think it was this week or last week, to be honest,
Mhm.
when she said about like Sam really lived and she reads books. That's how she lives. And Cody's kind of like wild and different for her. I would absolutely love, like, I can actually picture it when you're saying it, because that would be the exactly what she needs. Like TJ is
Yeah,
awesome, but he was so perfect, right? And her first
yeah.
big love. She needs somebody who's like has a little bit more experience, is a little bit wilder, is like Sam. You said we're like kindred spirits. So I think it's kind of neat, right?
And with TJ, it's like they met so young, and it's like I'm not saying TJ was his own person, but kind of living up to Molly standards. I mean, it got him somewhere amazing. This doctor, you know what I mean? Like,
Right?
great. But like meeting someone like this, and like this week I think it was this week they introduced like the whole Sam factor, right? Because that's huge. There was a whole point where like Sam and Cody were like in stuff together before Dante could even get looped in. So that's a really huge connection. The Sam grief, bonding through that.
Yes. Yes.
There's an
Okay.
there's an in, but like Cody's busy though, right? He was
He would
he's like,
not shut the front door. He needed to get his steps in.
no, it was so bad. Like he told everybody, but like Selena Wu has an office,
Office. It was really nice.
right? So she has this office. She's having a meeting, and he's like, I was laughing because it's like he's informing Selena who his dad is. She's like, I know who everyone's dad is. Have you talked to Chris? I know everybody's daddy. She's like, you know what I mean? Like, just to
Yeah.
Selena Wu, she's like, I don't care. I
Care.
break the law for a living. I don't care that you have dinner with a person who doesn't break the law. Can you do illegal things for me? Like, she doesn't care about his life story. But I did not expect how that was going to go down. I did not in a million years expect that we see like a Cody Selena scene and then a Drew Selena scene.
I'm loving the whole like Drew, Cody animosity. I love them in a scene together because Cody is so good at being smug, and you can see
Yes.
how much it gets under Drew's skin. And he just like he loses all cool and doesn't know how to be, and then just says something really out of left field and dumb.
Like I just can't with Drew. Like when it comes to Willow, and he says stuff, he's like, oh, "Stop it with Willow." I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna protect her harder? You're gonna hero more? Like she's not even here to see it. Like drop the act."
I know.
crap about like, you tell me things like, Michael, like people, they treat me like I can't handle anything. And I'm like, gee, I wonder
Wonder.
why. I wonder why. Maybe it's because you're very gullible. Like, I don't know what
Oh,
to
I
say.
cannot.
I don't know what to say. Like, people tell me the truth, and I'm like, but he protects you at every turn. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, post her talk with like Chase. Like, what is she gonna do when she realizes I never evolved as a person? My whole life is a cult. I don't like, and if there is no cult leader, I'll find one. Like, what do you do with that? Like, what do
So
you do when you
messed up.
realize that?
I would love to see her therapy sessions because she's still in love with Michael.
Yes.
She's, Band-Aid Drew situation. She's slowly, we saw a little glimpse of Willow this week saying that she realized what she did was wrong, which the fact that you had sex with somebody else in your husband's bed, yeah, it's like super bad, guys.
Imagine if she knew cheating on her husband was wrong. Like, could you imagine if she knew then? Everything would have been different. But like, but you're saying she. But imagine, like, you're saying she came to terms with this, but that's after she was like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm
I
leaving.
know.
And then she's like, you know what? I was like super wrong about so much stuff, but whatever.
Guys,
I
it's
don't have to face it.
bad.
Run away, And then like her whole crap at the end of the week with Maxie, like, oh man, I'm gonna have to find a place to live. And I'm like
Yeah.
you're no Elizabeth. Where's your grandma? I forget what her grandma's name was. We heard about her a lot. I'm just
We did.
like, I'm like, but Willow, like, I don't understand. Like, what makes you feel
Are
so?
you, you're glitching.
I, I, I'm glitching because there's so much. Like,
There's
I
so
could
much,
stand on
eh?
my own in Michael's gatehouse at the Quartermaines, and then I'm gonna stand on my own in Drew's house. I can stand on my own on so many other people's property. It's crazy.
Oh, it's so frustrating because, yeah, like, where's she going to live? Over the.
True.
I know, but it's like, is she going to live at Bobby's? Like, I am, okay,
Well,
I'm
no, I don't
looking.
think. I mean, she has a job though. Like, I don't think.
She does
Like,
have a job, but here, like, I'm just so curious as to, and we'll get to that scene, but like, what does that look like? Her deciding all of a sudden to move into this house and,
doesn't
and,
with Drew?
yeah, like,
Oh
what
my
does this
gosh.
look like? What capacity of insanity is
It's
going to happen in this
it's
house?
so easy. It's so easy. Hey Drew, hey Willow, what's up? How was your week? Oh, I had a play date at Maxie's because we couldn't really do it at Nina's. It's not really suited for kids. Oh my god, I have 6 bedrooms. You can have so many play dates there. Drew, oh, how do you keep doing this? First it was in Greenland, then and now this. Like,
Are you writing for GH? Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
so like that's how easy it'll be. That's how
Yeah, you're
easy. Drew
right.
will speak words out loud and she'll be like, "Oh, that's everything. Do you want to
So
pack the kids
gross.
or shall I?"
Should they start calling you dad? Like, it's so horrible. The
Like,
kids like Drew. Yeah, that was never in
oh, she
question.
said that. Was that the crap she said to like Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Oh my, and how dare you talk to Brooklyn like that?
Right?
She has been nothing but nice to you. She's coming to talk to you instead of Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not even telling you, hey, don't. She's like, you're judging me and Drew. She's like, she's like, see Drew anywhere else. She was offended by that. She was offended by the suggestion that you could see Drew anywhere. She's like, but it's my house. I mean, I'm wearing my wedding ring. I haven't divorced Michael. I call the hospital in Germany and tell him the kids and, well, we miss him. You know what I mean? Like, we can't wait for him to come back to watch us live with
Tell
us.
him Drew
Okay,
misses him too, guys.
you know what I mean? Like, what is the matter with you? Like, there's such a malfunction going on with
Oh
her. And
yeah, big
so
time.
to be like, oh, the kids love him. That's okay. So you're like, the kids are number one. Like, I'm here because, the kids have bedrooms. All their family is here. She literally said that over the past week. Like,
Yeah.
everything the kids needs like is right here. But you know what? I need Drew. I need access to Drew. So I'm gonna uproot them once again
Yeah.
and play musical house and
Oh,
take
so
them somewhere
sad.
else. And that's gonna be fine. Like, I'm sorry, but like, how are you okay when you're jumping all over the place? How are you okay when your husband accidentally, like your sex tape gets leaked And instead of having or insisting on having a conversation with your
Yeah.
husband, you're like, oh my gosh, it's your fault. Everybody knows I cheated on you. Ew. What is wrong with
How
you?
dare you
Have you
expose me?
no decency? And so, like, and she's like, and it's Christmas. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, I just think it's so crazy that when this all happened, she wasn't like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I should talk
Yeah.
to Michael. It was like, well, everyone knows. I guess I should just do this more. Like, I mean, I can't go back now.
Do it
Like,
harder.
you know, what's
More
the point?
inappropriately.
Yeah, why would I behave now? And then she just like basically she made the decision to be with Drew and just never told Michael.
Yeah.
So I and then the fact that she's like, what is so wrong? What is so wrong to sleep with Drew in Michael and I's bed? First of all, he's in a bed in Germany. The kids are at school, okay? And I took off the tie Carly bought him. It was off when we did it. She doesn't get it. She's like, why doesn't anyone get me?
uh,
And then to tell Brooklyn, you're like everybody else. You're just making Drew out to be the villain, and you're just like like even Nina. She's like, what
what
the
the F is
hell?
happening? I loved Nina's face acting in those scenes because she's just like, what is happening with my child? She's just lost it.
Like when Willow said that, I'm just like literally flashing to when Willow entered the safe house that they kidnapped Christina and kept her in when they were
Hmm.
saving her from Dawn of Day.
Yes, yes.
And I was like, Willow, please have the same flashback that I'm having. Because like, do you know how humiliating that is? Like, I mean, I get it, right? Like, Maxie is pointing to the fact that, yeah, like she says, I don't like that they hurt Michael, but they're adults and they're like doing this thing. Nina is
Yes,
pointing to something that we've said about Nina. Nina
yes.
found herself. She didn't have it before, but she has it now. But her thing is that Willow has lost herself. Like Willow is
Yes.
no longer acting like herself, and this is alarming. We're seeing that Willow is making all of her decisions by Drew, and the decisions she's making are having such a negative impact on her life, and she's not even seeing all of the like explosions or red flags because she's too busy, just being happy being in Drew's proximity, and honestly, happy being liked because no one else does at the moment.
Yes.
And I find it so hard to like, and I get it, like she's going through a lot of things and it's coming out in little bits, so humanizing her a little bit, talking to Nina privately saying, like I was thinking about Michael and I shouldn't have done that in our home.
Hmm.
And then I love like Drew when Nina's like telling him, he was like, oh, well, how could she be thinking of her husband after we did it in their bed?
I
I
thought
don't
I erased
understand.
him.
I don't understand. Love me more. I'm new. Pick me. Like this guy is just so sad.
So
He's
sad.
he's so sad. So they're having those like human moments, but I don't know what like. And then like Maxie's saying, well, like when people act like this, they're in love, and I'm just like, what is it gonna feel like after it all? Like everyone who's looking sees it
Mhm.
as clear as day. Like everyone, like even Rick and Ava passively commenting on,
Yes.
yeah, look at her so doe-eyed over him, hero complex, ew. Like, everybody is seeing it. And I don't know. Like, I'm just so curious as to like what this will mean for Willow because she's had a shaky past before. Her talk with Chase,
Yes.
she's putting everything into question and she's trying to turn over a new leaf, but essentially she's basically reinforcing a pre-existing pattern.
Ooh, maybe her rock bottom is trying to make out with Chase and he stops her and is like, you see, you just jump from one to the next of people who will save you.
You know what? I agree that the only person who she would hear and can confront that is Chase.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Because we know something like that's gonna happen because of like all the pieces. I'm sorry, but like, damn, are you like, it feels so cohesive. Like all the story, everything, all the words, all the dialogue.
Yes.
It's just so good.
I'm
It's
happy
so
again.
good. I am. Like the Willow stuff is just insane and really entertaining. But remember how last week we spent the podcast talking about um like everything that extends beyond the Willow storyline. So then we talked about like Brooklyn
Yes.
and whatever. Wasn't that crazy? They all ended up in the house. So Brooklyn's in the house, Gio's in the house. I sound so sick. Gio's in the house. Casey's
That's how I
in
heard
the
it.
house. Dante's in the house. You know what I mean? And when they walked in, all I kept thinking is like, "Hi, Dad. Hi, stepdad.
Right?
Hi,
Oh, it's a
mom."
little fam jam.
But nobody knows. Like that's the
Nobody
worst part.
knows.
Like Brooklyn's like, "Oh man, I got a secret. I had a baby," and I'm like, "But you don't even know. Like nobody knows. Like nobody in this scene knows. Nobody knows the secret." And then like to have it be like explicitly laid out.
That was
What did you?
amazing.
Yeah, what did you think about? Even those scenes were amazing. What did you think about Lois Martin?
It's like we knew the information, like we had pieced it together a long time ago, but like I had
Yes.
goosebumps so many times this week of scenes that oh boy, I didn't know how much I needed them until I saw them. Like that moment
Okay.
where like her face acting and her panic and just talking about all of the connections, like her freaking best friend, her like lifer.
Right.
Sunny, the man who has her heart through whatever. Like it is like it's
Yeah.
world shattering. Like her panic, like I started to feel her panic.
Dante wasn't a secret to Lois.
No, but remember they did fight a little bit about the fact like that she hid it from
Sunny.
Sunny, but
Yeah,
she
but
is doing this right now.
yeah, it's pretty bad. But the point is, in terms of their friendship, Olivia told Lois.
Yes.
So basically, over and over, I'm confirming that Lois lied a lot, and to
Yeah.
Olivia, and to everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. And then it was so funny as the details trickled out. And then Martin put together, wait, are you in contact with the child in question? She's like, we live in the same house. It's just like, what? And then I love because that's what I mean. It's who they're putting together and acknowledging it, right? So how like Tracy happens to show up. Like I love that when she was even mad at
Oh
Brooklyn.
yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna call my lawyers. Like she was so more than happy to start this fight. I love it.
Well, that's why I'm sure she let Brooklyn do it in the first place because if she didn't have a backup plan or a strategy already in
Yeah.
place, like that would have never went down the way it did.
Yeah. Like even her going, like, I mean, what did like she was never gonna comply. She already threatened to like leave. And
Yeah.
I think that like remember, this is like foreplay for Tracy because fighting Willow is interactions with Martin.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them have like a fling. That would be super, like a moment that might turn into something,
I
but
think
like an actual hot fling
Oh
moment.
yeah, like I think it's gonna happen exactly how you say. It's gonna come through all of the back and forth and the fighting. They've already had so many fights. So I definitely think that, even Lois, Olivia, like they're noticing their little dynamics. So that's gonna be really funny. But imagine Tracy, like Gio is your great grandson. Like
Okay, but
Tracy's
did
gonna be
we?
so mad.
Oh, she's gonna flip out. But I had a moment, and you're probably gonna laugh at me. But did we know that he didn't know that he was adopted?
Yeah.
Okay, we knew that.
I'm like, I knew that. You now
We're
know
a
that.
we. We're a we on this podcast, okay?
We knew that.
Okay, great. Whew. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, so all that's happening. Okay. So remember, we're talking about all the extensions of this whole like Willow nonsense. And
Mhm.
like Willow in the woe is me is like, oh, Drew, do you know who I don't like? Sasha. Sasha doesn't like me, so I don't like her
I don't
partner.
like her.
She's like calling me on my crap. I don't like it. So you'd never believe we were friends before. How dare she judge me? She just doesn't like being judged. She's like, I judge people. I am a
Exactly.
standard people try to live up to. And now nobody wants to live up to my standards. No, nobody. So, okay,
It's actually, she sounds like a really distorted version of the old Elizabeth,
of the old, oh,
like back in the day.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then they hugged today. So now I'm
I
flashing to
know.
that. It's true though, because like when Elizabeth was happy to see
Oh,
her, I'm
when
like,
Elizabeth is passing the crazy baton.
yeah. Like she hugged her. She's like, I've grown. And she
I'm
has, right?
good.
Elizabeth has evolved
Yeah.
like so much. But in that moment, it's true. I'm like, Elizabeth, you are happy to see her? Okay. Because like like a little bit older Elizabeth would have judged the crap out of Willow.
Oh yeah, big
Oh
time.
man. Be like, don't you have like different baby daddies for all your babies? She's like, yeah, but you're horrible. And I don't shy away from telling people they're horrible. Like, where's that Elizabeth? She's too busy with all the Cyrus stuff.
I know. She's got a lot on her plate, and oof, we'll
Mm,
get into that
yeah.
scary stuff
But
later.
can I just say there's something that impresses me about Cyrus a little bit.
Tell me.
So when they started coming up with these theories of this whole like what do you call it? Angel of Death?
Yes.
So I actually became pretty impressed by the continuity of Cyrus's darkness because he was like this evil guy. And
Yeah.
then it was like he's reformed, he's reformed. And for a while we're like, I mean, I know he's evil, but he doesn't seem to think so. And he's doing okay things, except for like that whole Austin bit. Um,
Right.
but for me, I thought that was really interesting that like Cyrus stayed dark always.
Right?
You know what I mean? Even though when he became religious, like his version of good is like, I'm gonna play God and kill people God is telling me to kill instead of the people I want to
I
kill.
want to.
Yeah.
Totally. It's so
So to
wild.
me, I thought that was really interesting.
Yes, like he definitely worked really hard on toning down the creepy for a significant amount of time. Like he's still
Yeah, that we were
scary.
confused. Hmm.
We were, because he could pull out, but even when he first came on the show, remember when he was like trying to connect with Laura, it always bounced between nice and wildly ragey. Like it was just kind of like,
Yes.
but in a weird kind of mix. And then you see in his eyes are kind of fiery, but his face is trying to make it like a nice face, and it was scary. And that's
But
what's happening now.
but he was evil all the time. But then there were moments when it came to his mom and his childhood and wanting Laura's approval that you kind of
Yes,
like
that's
felt for
true.
him. So he's
Yeah.
like an interesting villain. That's the thing. You have like different kinds of villain. You have like the darker villain. You have like the like caricature villain, the like bad guy like a Sidwell, right? He's like a criminal,
Hmm.
but he's like that criminal who's gonna like make jokes. You know? He's like that kind. Then you have like the Obrecht kind of like mad scientist. You know, you're gonna have Selena who's just like smart, knows what she's doing, and in
Yes.
crime, you know, and then you'll have like a villain that's basically Drew. And what's so interesting about all of this is like Drew's Nina from before.
Oh, 1000%.
And they like confirm that today. Like, so the thing is that Carly knew off the bat what Nina wanted.
Hmm.
This is what I have to say about that. This is the most fascinating aspect of it for me. So,
Okay.
of course, I knew she wanted Carly's help, and things have changed, right? They're definitely less fiery between the two of them. I didn't
Hmm.
really expect Maxie to call her on the Sunny thing,
Okay.
right? So I didn't really like expect that. Like the way she said, you know, being in love causes you to do all of these things, and then Carly walking in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this is interesting because if you're going to solidify anything, I guess we need to like clear the elephant in the room, if you will. But then when
Yes.
they had their conversation, I was so taken aback. She's like, this whole situation made me realize that I did that. So she's like, so her even acknowledging, like, Drew's her, like being really
Yeah.
delulu, inserting himself in a place that he shouldn't. And I'm sorry, but like, Nina has never once genuinely taken accountability for something she's done.
Hmm.
She has
Hmm.
said the blanket, "I've made mistakes." Okay. Like she said it, but she's never like itemized one. She's never actually been really specific or honest saying I shouldn't have done that or that was wrong ever. And even Carly was taken aback. And I'm like, you know what's so funny? I always said that like for the Sunny and Nina thing to be true and real, and I think it could have been, right? But I think it would have they would have needed to have blown up. Like if we wanted to make Sunny and Nina the couple, life would have had to really get to them. Their bubble needed to be burst, and we would have needed to see really difficult conversations where like Nina acknowledges what she's done, where he acknowledges what he's done. Like, you know, the
Yes.
fact that he like, well, I never actually pursued finding my family. Like
Mhm.
when I came back, I didn't invest or I got caught up in this, and really see if at the end of the day something was still there. And I said, for that couple to become a real couple, because even how they had it, yeah, they were together, they decided to be together, but it wasn't real because they
No, it
never
wasn't.
truly it was, it's basically the Willow, and that's the thing, it made me see even more, it's really the Drew and Willow thing, it's us against the world. And that was
Mhm.
it. That's where Nina and Sunny lived. It was nothing deeper than that. And so I always said for them to have a true relationship, they would have to be true honesty to themselves, to each other, and this genuine, authentic, honest moment. I never in a million years thought that that moment would have happened between Nina and Carly, because it
It
happened.
I had, that was another moment where I had goosebumps. I watched the scene a couple of times because I wanted to see like what they're wearing, their facial expressions. I
Mhm.
love that they were both wearing blazers. You know, Carly was wearing more of like a burnt orange, like fiery color. It's just, you know, Nina just looked so good and sleek, and her face acting was on point. And there were moments of patience, truth. There was a moment where Carly sparkled at the very end when she was like debating kind of being in this whole big plan, how Nina convinced her in a very Carly way. Like she wasn't being mean in that moment. She's being, well, how do you say? She's being this new version of herself where she's taking into account other people's feelings. Like it was,
Yes.
I freaking love the scene so hard. It was something I didn't know I wanted. Again, like there was this week Elizabeth and Lucky. There was the Lois and Martin, and these two, Carly and Nina. We've been waiting
Mhm.
forever for a beautiful scene from them.
Exactly, because like before when we used to see Nina, even whether it was with Carly or even like Ava, like Nina was never kind of on the same planet as anyone else. Like in
Mm-hmm.
a conversation, you can always see like not on the same page. And in that moment, you can see they were on the same page. Like I don't know, like dare I say respect? Because Carly treated her like a person.
Yes.
So respected. And it's like it's so funny because it's like in that office, like they used to like get along. You know what I mean? Like Nina
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, they weren't connected truly in their lives. Nina was like her tenant person. And then she started
Yes.
dating
Yes.
Jax. So like Carly and her used to like talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so it's really interesting to get here. And I kind of absolutely loved it. And I feel like hats off to GH. I think they've always evolved, and one of the main things that I've appreciated is the way that they've evolved, like the female friendships. Like I'll admit, like sometimes if I'm watching TV or like even like a teen movie or whatever, it's so funny
Mm-hmm.
because it's like the way the female friendships are portrayed, it's like not at all what they were when we were younger. Like you can tell in
Yes.
some movies, relationships have evolved, like the female dynamic, they're more like
Yes.
fighting for each other than against each other. And like you
Mm-hmm.
see that shift, when you're watching TV. And so with General Hospital, I kind of love that they did that. And that for that reason, I think it's so special that like when Nina read that moment, it wasn't in the context of a relationship with Sunny, but it happened to
No. Yeah.
be in this context with like an enemy, and the way that they've done that with rivals in the past, where they've evolved them for those that are still remaining rivals. Like they evolve them to a place of respect but still rivals. It's kind of interesting.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't know that they'll be besties forever,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping from this that we get the buddy cop drama that we never really got with Anna,
Yes.
because Anna and
Yes.
Carly have that, they have that like funny like dynamic, and you can actually see them do like a mission and it be a true buddy cop situation. But I'm hoping that we get this funny dynamic between Nina and Carly working together. And I think she really had her. Like she sold Carly on the fact that Drew bought a house. She didn't even tell her that Drew threatened that I'm not going to DC without Willow.
I know. Imagine.
And to say I'll take her, like I'll take her.
It's like he's gonna kidnap her. Like it was very
Well, like
creepy and odd.
that she's an object, right? Like he really
Well,
is.
yes.
It's the stuff Carly said. That's also what I thought was really interesting. Like Carly talking to Lucas about it, hearing everyone talk about their relationship. It's really funny watching it dissected because it's all those stereotypes. Oh, I thought it was the hero worship thing. Like I'm not a fan of that. Like it was just so funny
Yeah.
how they talked about that relationship, but also acknowledging, because like Lucas made a good move, right? He's keeping the door open to Willow, and that's what everyone's doing. It's just so sad. Like they're like, I don't really like you. I don't like the choices you're making. What you did is really wrong. But like, she holds the key to the kids.
Exactly.
I just didn't appreciate Drew using Maxie. I feel like he used Scout and Sam to lure Maxie in.
Oh, that was so gross and skeevy, and everything that I don't like about him was in that moment.
Like, I believe Maxie's genuine in reaching out to Willow, but I
Mhm.
wonder if it's more.
Well, I think she has a really great opportunity in the sense that she does like Willow. Their kids do like each other, but to have an actual sounding board that is not your mother, your mother-in-law,
Mhm.
your in-laws, or Drew, it's a really different perspective. And hopefully, and even Chase, she listens to him, but that's an ex-boyfriend. Like Maxie is just coming from a really
Yes,
different
yes.
place, and I'm hoping that through that friendship or somebody she can trust can help her see things in a different light.
I hope so too. But it's like even in that moment where like, and I get it though. Like I get that at the end of the day, like despite how it looks, like Willow is still having a lot of feelings about stuff. And she's not, that's what I mean. Like she's being so defensive that she can't even, like, I feel like with Nina, explore because of I guess how she thinks her mom feels about Drew, but she can't even explore anything. And maybe that's exactly it. She'll do it with Maxie. Like she can't even say like she started to talk about his self feelings for Michael, but like there's
Hmm.
nobody there where she can go like I don't know, like it moved fast. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm rushing. Like there's so she's so like defensive of what she's doing. She's basically like she doesn't want to be judged. And so she's in this like weird bubble. So she can't really acknowledge she's done anything wrong. But it's just like with Maxie, she's like, wow, you're asking me how I am. Like everybody's like judging my relationship or lecturing me. And it's just like I don't know. It's like, it sucks because she's stuck in this place, but it's like, well, it's because it's a big deal. And I know it. I mean, of course it sucks being judged, but what do you expect? You live at your husband's family home with all of his
Right?
family. Like, look at the crowd. Like, truly, what did you expect? Like,
It's
it's
it's so bizarre.
bizarre. Like, she's so shocked about how people feel, and the fact that she can't even understand why they would be angry at Drew.
I know.
Anyways, that whole thing is so special. But Drew is really busy this week. Everybody wants to meet with the congressman, but the congressman wants to meet with everybody. Like he wanted to meet with Selena Wu, turns out just to learn more about her dealings with Curtis. So
So messed up.
he went to like a mob queen pin
Hmm.
and was like, "Can I have information just like that for nothings? Just, 'cause I'm a congressman and I just need a favor." I'm like, "You're gonna learn the hard way, just like Curtis did." Like, I find this ridiculous. He doesn't like the mob. He doesn't like thugs, but he's gonna
Yes.
go to Selena. He's gonna entertain Jen Sidwell. He's gonna learn what he did, and you love the fact that, like I mean, just the fact that you didn't even realize. Oh, he mentioned Sunny, he wants
Yep.
access to the pier. And you're like, so you're comfortable getting into bed with a mobster, changing the one you know for one you don't?
Yeah, exactly. Personal preference of mobsters.
Like, I don't even,
Favoritism.
like, I just thought that was so insane that you don't realize somebody's trying to take over Sunny's territory. Do you even have any idea what that means for Port Charles?
Oh, he's no, he doesn't know very much. He's everything is love eyes and revenge at the moment. There's no logic happening.
Oh my gosh. So like the whole Selena Wu thing blew up and it was super funny watching them argue. My favorite was when Cody threatened him, well, said like, "Well, what are you gonna do? Raise my taxes?" I thought that was like the
Amazing.
funniest. Funny
Amazing.
because it turns out Drew's really easy to beat up. So there's always that. But then for some reason he's like, "I hate you, Drew. Jason impregnated Sasha." Like it doesn't matter.
So
Cody will
silly.
take any opportunity to work that into a conversation.
I
And
cannot with him.
so after Selena, he goes to like Anna, and I was just like, Anna, why don't you just tell him to shove it? Why don't you call him out? Why don't you say, I thought that you'd be different? Like a lot of people set their sights on Jason and Sunny, and I thought you would care about your constituents. Like I thought she could have said and
Be
done
more
more.
firm. Hmm.
Yeah, and I thought it was just grossness. Like you literally gave a whole lecture about not wanting to get into the Quartermaine squabbles between like Drew trying to like press charges with Tracy and all that stuff, and now this. So
Yeah,
it
it's
was,
gross.
yeah, all his meetings. And what did you, my favorite, what did you think? Like, Carly did good, right? She's behaving. She went to go see Willow. She's
Yes, that was
like,
like a big moment.
she was gonna have tea with the girl.
Yeah.
She's gonna have some tea. What did you think when she found the tie?
Well, I was just like, oh, hot dog. Like, this is just her cover's been blown. But when she said what it was, when she confronted Drew, I was like, you scummy a hole. Like, this is awful. It just keeps getting worse and
I
worse
know.
of how disgusting you are.
But it's funny because it's like we get it. Drew's a bad guy. Like like, I love it. I love how they're never gonna let us forget because it's bad enough he's sleeping with his wife's nephew that he snuck into the grounds, but he's doing it wearing Carly's tie. And like even
Yeah.
Willow, she didn't bat an eye at that. She's like, well,
No.
because like, Carly found the tie she bought him. And she was like, why does everyone hate him? I'm like, you don't find it ick? Because like you're still married to Michael. Okay. You're still
Yeah.
married to him, on the advice of your lover. And you don't find it weird that you're like, because you guys used to double, right? And because Drew was with
Ah,
Carly, they played the mama papa role to the Willow Michael sitch. Okay.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
like, I'm sleeping with my mother in law's ex boyfriend, undressing the tie she bought him in my husband's bed.
It's a lot for my brain to handle.
And she seemed to really care about what Carly thinks. For someone's like, whatever, I'm gonna do what I want. Nobody likes me. Carly, do you want some tea? Like, do you think like we could be friends? Like, it's just
It
like I
was a
don't think.
very it was a very Nina moment, like
Yes,
that
yes,
she's Nina's daughter,
yes,
right?
yes. Because I think that, like, I'm not gonna say it's like she doesn't want to lose Carly, but I just think that like Carly coming back brings back the seriousness of the Michael stuff. So it's kind of like a reminder of her
Yes.
love for Michael. And I also think the reality was for a long time, Carly played a big role. And I think, like, for a micro moment, she kind of recognized what she lost, like her
Yeah.
whole world was actually Michael's world. They were her family,
Yes.
like her whole circle. So, like, I mean, this is a big deal. It's not like you and Michael or Michael did something because you know what I mean, where the family would just be swarming you as well and supporting you both
Hmm.
through this transition. Unfortunately, you did something
Yes.
that hurt Michael. And yeah, it's kind of tough. It's a lonely spot to be in because you've lost actually way more than Michael. You have this home, you have this support. So it's a lot, and I don't think she's really sat with that.
Oh my gosh, hasn't sat with anything.
No, as Brooklyn pointed out to her.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Chase is gonna be a little weirded. Like, Dante and you had a baby?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
gonna freak out. It's Chase, even
yeah.
though he's like dips his toe in the gray, but it's still a lot to take in.
But I want Brooklyn and Chase to stay together. But
Oh,
I feel
same.
like, like you said, Willow's gonna be like, "Oh my God, a feeling was hurt." Chase, you're a man.
I feel like her spidey
Lead
senses.
me, lead, lead.
It's so
Oh
bad.
man. Okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing. So Chase and Dante, right? So Dante is like trying to get info on this case. Oh, I think everything I
Mhm.
thought happened though. Yeah. Okay, so so Dante gets the information and then Rocco hears, right? Rocco
Yes, poor
overhears
kid.
Cyrus. And we know that like Danny's about to be told. And then they
Yeah.
gave us all this other interesting extra stuff, like Christina being like, we shouldn't tell him. And then it's like, we're gonna do it anyway. And then it's fine, you know? So I don't know why that needed to happen. She's like, we shouldn't. And I'm like, but they're gonna know from the media and the
The
news and all that
media,
stuff.
yeah.
So it's like, okay. Um, and so at that point, the boys were separate. So I was like, I'm gonna say even though some of this was Johnny. So
Okay.
I even told him, I'm like, I'm gonna say it was me. So he was just like, so it looks like that could bring Dante, like Dante and Jason would be motivated to kind of uncover this.
Yes.
So
I
I don't
freaking
know.
love it.
I don't know if it would be like a Dante Jason thing because like Dante has a lot of respect for Jason, but I also felt like this could be a good time to renew the brotherly connection between Rocco and Danny. Except what's scary is that Danny and Rocco know a lot, and Jason's not in town, Sonny's not in town,
Yeah.
and the Cyrus stuff is getting quite congested. There's a lot of people circulating around the whole Cyrus thing. So Joss Elizabeth, whatever Anna thinks she's doing. Uh,
That conversation that she had with Jordan, I was just, does she actually know what's happening though? Like,
cause like she's like, because Jordan's like, you know what? I know I'm not a cop, and I'm like, this woman, okay, drags civilians like it's nothing into police matters all
yeah,
the damn time.
yeah.
She had like Carly freaking put a bug on a WSB agent. She pulled in Lucy to all kinds of nonsense and got her fake killed. But Jordan would be the line with law
Yeah.
enforcement background check. You know what? This is where I draw the line. And her trying to set rules on someone else when she doesn't follow any. But anyway, she was down, so that's okay. At least she's doing something good in that sense. And I have to
Yes.
agree when she's telling like Jocelyn to stop. But I find it funny when Joss is like, no.
You're not my mom.
But I thought she was gonna tell her mom when she saw Carly. Because
I
honestly, I
don't
thought that was a threat she was gonna use. I thought she was gonna say like, "Look, Jocelyn, I'm gonna tell your mom. Like enough is enough."
know.
So she breaks in, and like that's the thing. Like I never thought all of this. Right? You got Brennan, you got new Brennan. So like that was
Oh, new
devastating news.
Brennan.
And like when
Yeah.
I finally saw the message from you, I was like, oh, and I just kept messaging you like, this is crazy. But then when I finally tapped the link, and it was like he wanted to not be on it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
I
just
was
like,
just mad that it was somebody new, right?
no, for sure I was mad about that because I'm like, what did they do to him? Like that was like immediately my thing. And then I was like, oh, he didn't want to be on it. That's fine. But I don't know where his vibes will take us.
Okay.
Right now we're talking about it, but he doesn't have an accent.
He
So
got scrubbed of the accent.
I don't know. I don't know. Um like we don't know what it's gonna look like anymore. It's what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
what we do know is that
What we
Joss
do
is
know.
officially being scouted for the WSB.
Yes, yes. You know what she is?
Was
She's
she?
not Emma. Because and I
I love it.
no, but I say
She,
this because like she's
oh, I
Anna,
know
right?
why.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because she said because it was the little clues, right? Her interactions with Anna, her obvious
Yep.
interactions with Brennan, her saying I was in the WSB around Emma's age. So like
Yep.
they were saying all that, but it's Joss.
I love it. I love it hard because Emma's a loose cannon. I don't know what is going on with that one. Her life is too boring. She needs
Animals, Mel.
drama.
It's the
And
animals.
eavesdropping, all the eavesdropping.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Like Maxie is just I love Maxie. She's amazing. Like she's
She is.
amazing. Jordan's my favorite superhero on the show. Like I love it all. And like I love how she went and had that face to face with Emma. She's like, and if you do anything,
Yes.
you invite the rest of us. And she's like, why don't you just talk to me and stop being like so like the fact that you're gonna live with a spy. And she was right. Like the points that Maxie had, like pulling what you pulled, you did that because you had like two doctor parents. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
We all look at you. We're all screw ups. We see you for who you are. And then, like, she kicked her off of her table, which I found hilarious. Like,
I
Emma
know,
was there
amazing.
to get out. And I'm like, look at this rebel with a cause. I love animals and I love my family and I want to be eating with my relatives, my adult relatives, and I'm jealous. You know what I mean?
Yes, but I love that, especially that it's Maxie. Like we know how far Maxie's come. We know what Maxie was when she was younger, and it just makes it so much more beautiful. These scenes, right?
It does. And like Emma, she's like a Robin Rebel. You know, it's not real,
Yeah,
but
no, it's
we're watching
fake.
it anyways.
Yeah.
And like, but what I thought was weird because I'm thinking, because like she knows who Jason is, but in my head, I'm like, okay, well, Emma is Robin's daughter. Like, how much detail is being told to this girl about who Jason is?
Right?
It's not weird. You grow up, hey, mom and dad, and you have them. And then you're like, I know who Jason is. It's a really significant person in my mama's life.
They were
Significant
in love.
boyfriend. Like it would be weird for her to know that level of detail. But we
Yes.
know, and Robin, through her whole life, made sure everybody knows that Jason's important to her. And
True.
so she's like, oh my gosh, he's like my mom's best friend. I have to tell her. Who should I tell that my mom's best friend is having a baby with her half sister? And I'm like, and she seemed really excited about that. And I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
why, if it was to hurt her mom or to create chaos. I don't know.
I felt like it was to create chaos and keep the attention off of her.
Create chaos, keep the attention off me so nobody knows I'm hosting benefits for
Exactly.
animals in
Exactly,
need.
girl.
Like, she's just like, wow. Like, she's really special,
It's
that
just a
one.
lot. Yeah.
It's what I said the first time. She's like, I realize I'm boring and I need some, like,
Oh, 100%.
yeah. She's like, I've got nothing going on. So, yeah, those scenes were really funny. But I'm like, because even there with Maxie, I'm like, Sasha, like, say it's not him. Like, you
I
said it was
know.
a stranger. You had no problem telling people that you slept with a stranger and you don't know who it was. We even told the Quartermaines it could have been many, or maybe she told Jason that. And so,
No,
like,
she told Tracy. It was in the room full of them when
yeah.
she kind of, yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, why can't you just say it's not him?
Okay, so that leads me to this question.
Ugh.
What did you think of Sasha's conversation with Tracy?
I mean, it was nice. There was something about what Tracy was saying I wasn't getting, but for some reason something clicked inside of her and she has like all this respect for her. But I don't know if it's because like if it's simply that or if on some level just the idea that the baby could have been a Quartermaine. I don't know. What did you think of it? Because she's basically saying, "You're not Willow. If you have a baby, I won't take it."
That's what I understood too. And that's where I was confused. She's kind of like, I like you. And Sasha earlier in the week did say, she has this like relationship with Tracy. It's not conventional, but they have, mutual respect for each other. And I think that Tracy does actually respect her, even when she treats her like
Yeah.
crap. And she sees her as somebody who has value and is interesting and smart and worked for herself. Because even though Tracy came for money, there was a point in time where she had to figure out her own life. Like she said, she was a single mom. She wanted to raise her sons away from the Quartermaine house. So she really has like a kinship with Sasha. And that's what I understood too. That at the end of the day, if this is Jason's kid or a Quartermaine kid, I will support you no matter what.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like a great moment between the two of them and just solidified that
Mm.
she's staying there. But I mean, it's going to be hard if you bond more with Tracy after you have that baby. Like I just don't see how Sasha will have it in her to keep that secret forever. Like, honestly, before
Hmm.
that baby's born or shortly after, that secret's coming out. But also what Tracy told her. Like you might want to get prepared for when Jason comes back. Like it's all fun and games telling everybody, oh, it's none of your business. Everyone speculate. But like, what about Jason?
I know. And then, okay, so definitely timeline wise, when everything comes out with Geo, that will push Sasha, to be honest,
You think?
ish. She might
But
not
like,
say who the father is, but she might say it's a Quartermaine.
but
It's
that's
money, y'all.
but that's sort of the issue. It's like Jason's coming back, and I mean, he's going to do anything for Michael. So they laid the foundation. And I mean, why go through all of this if you're not going to set up a reason why Jason has to somehow say it's his? We all know
Yeah.
why. She would do that to protect Michael and the whole custody thing.
Yes, of course.
And obviously, now that if Jason knows, that Michael knows and whatever, he'd literally do anything. So I'm not quite sure what that'll do. But it was interesting how in that fight with Carly, oh my God, I swear my reaction, which is like, I bought you that tie. And I'm like, this is so twisted. And
Hmm.
but I liked it how it's been so long to have like a juicy confrontation like that.
Yes.
Absolutely loved it watching Anna witness the whole thing.
Her
And then
face.
but just how gross it was him bringing up
Yes.
Sasha. But I
Oh my
liked
God,
how,
disgusting.
for me, I loved how Carly switched gears. She didn't go like, no, that couldn't be. She's like, and so what if it is? And what I thought was insane was Drew mentioned power dynamics.
I know. I could not believe it. I'm like, really? You really are not hearing the words that are coming out of your mouth, sir.
Power dynamics? You saved her life, and you're like, ah, ha, 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 like elevated in her eyes.
Yes.
Congressman to boot. And for some reason, you might hate Jason, but where the hell is the implication that there was no consent? Like, I didn't
That
understand
was
that.
messed up.
Like, I
I didn't
thought that,
understand it either.
yeah, I thought that was so insane that he just put out this idea that something happened between him and Sasha and that there was no way it could have been consensual. I
That
was
was
like,
messed up.
wow. And I like that, like, Sasha got up and defended herself. And I think, that too, she had nothing to say to Carly because Carly basically said, so what? You know what I mean? Like, leave it alone.
Mhm.
But then you have Lucy
Oh, she's
speculating on it. She's like, but
mhm.
she spoke like the audience didn't see it coming, but don't hate it. Like that's
Yes,
what I
I
mean.
did like that.
There were so many things in which they dissected like Willow's relationship or those comments that make you go like, it sounds like they're just, ripping from the audience and kind of teasing a little bit, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Other things there too. So there was like other weird moments around that time. I don't know why it happened,
Okay.
but like Lulu goes up to Anna asking for information and then goes, I'll just ask Carly. So like she has more access. And Anna seemed a little drunk. She's like, go ask her that. It was just such a weird.
No, it was so weird because she's like, do you want a drink? Well, if you're not drinking, are you here to hit on the bartender? I'm like, what is happening here?
But also, doesn't she have a liver? Like one liver?
Exactly. Or like, well, we all have one liver, but like
Oh, I meant a transplant. It's a liver transplant.
yeah, she had like
I know
yeah.
things.
I did fast track Port Charles Medical School.
But like that's what I mean. I'm like, she just had a transplant. So like,
Yeah.
why would you be like, do you want a drinky? And I'm just like, okay.
I
And
think it
like,
was just to show how messed up she was about that Jason comment and that she did down a
oh
few drinks
yeah.
before Lulu got to her and she was just like spiraling. So just words were said without filters.
What a jelly bean. It's so funny. He just
Mm-hmm.
got Robin. It happened to Robin when he wanted to play baby daddy to someone else's kid. And this
Oh my
happened
word.
to Anna. Isn't that funny?
Oh, so wildly messed up. Yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of like Valentine Brennan stuff, this is what's so funny to me. Like something about like, what about Valentine? Like the concern because he came after Brennan once. I'm like, he literally won't find him. He will not recognize him. He's okay.
Facts.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Other things. Okay. So this is what I mean about Jordan being my superhero. The fact that she like instinctively, again, I know it's scripted, but she in my eyes,
Scripted
she's real.
instinctively.
She's real. And the way she like slid Isaiah's beer away and was
Oh
all
my god,
flirted. Oh
amazing.
man, that was so good. And Lucy got jelly. Lucy was like, Jens, I thought we had something.
I know. It was so bad.
And he was just eating it up. And I'm like, wait, why do you have to end things with Isaiah? Why can't you just do it more discreetly?
That's what they're so sexy together. It's like even hard to watch when they're having a normal conversation. You're like, I feel
No.
like I'm being invasive and this is wrong.
I love Jordan because she's so confident. She's like, yeah,
Yes.
Jens is interested in me and I'm going to use that interest. And she's like, we're going to have to stop this. She's like, oh, there's something going on. He's like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm reading this right. You're into me. You want me. You got something. Like, I just love how like straightforward and how confident she is. It's incredible.
Yes.
So I don't know what's going to happen because I need Isaiah to stay close to Jordan because it's like, it's super entertaining.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And Lucky and Elizabeth, like I didn't think we'd have like
Oh.
that. I'm glad it didn't happen. It needs to be really, really slow. But
No,
I'm
slow,
shocked.
super slow.
Like every time he's there, I'm like, I can't believe you haven't left yet.
I know. And it's just the moments, like the dancing together. Like it's so intimate, yet they didn't kiss. It's pulling on history, but not living in the past. It's appreciating her now,
Yes.
everything she's been through. Like it's just what they're doing is what would make an old relationship work.
Yeah,
Old
because it,
relationships don't normally work because you want that person to stay the way they are. Whereas them, the beauty of the appreciation in their growth is like, oh, beautiful.
but exactly that, right? Like if you're gonna start over, it has to be new and it has to be different. You can't be the exact same, otherwise, like it's just gonna be the same stuff. And so I
Yeah,
love it. I love how she called him on stuff like I can't be your angel, like I can't be this, like I'm a real person. Like I
I
like
loved
that.
it.
I like that she bursts through that kind of wall, or she's like, she doesn't want to be idealized in that way.
And I love that about her. Like that's huge.
No, they were great. And like the Rick element is always kind of funny.
So funny because she can turn it on when she needs to, just like Jordan.
I know. But it's like Rick has his own thing going on with Ava, but it's really funny how this like causes an issue. But like it's just that everyone needs to talk, right? Because like Lucky wants to have Cyrus like break his parole thing. And it's like, why don't you talk to your sister? Like you came back to town, you never see your
Honestly,
son. And you're like, I'm gonna hang
no,
out with
never.
my teenage girlfriend all the time. I haven't seen
About
my
the case.
exactly. It's like he hasn't seen his sister in years. She's been in a coma. He showed up once, got tested, and then he was like, "See
She
ya."
barely. Well, that's like they barely even saw each other. So like, what's the diff?
I just find that so insane. And then whatever, she saw Cyrus, but I was like, that's the point. Like if Lucky had walked in, that's like your opportunity. Like she did call the cops. I don't know if it counts if they walk away after they break it
I
up.
don't know, but I was thinking that too. I'm like, well, he kind of disappeared. So unless you have a witness.
And like everything's happening, right? You got Joss at Turning Woods. You have the little piece that like Lulu brought to Anna saying like, I did more for you than you know. So I'm guessing it means not giving her digitalis. Or was he gonna like give her
I didn't catch that.
or
Okay,
like
yeah,
or was he gonna give her digitalis and then say, I moved her to this to another state?
yeah. Oh, I don't
But she's
know.
dead. Like well,
Ah!
I don't know what his plan was, but I think that's kind of it. Like he didn't digitalis her yet. Um but
I love that it's a verb.
and like Brennan, right? He's like, okay, so we find the safe house. We need to get Joss to find
I
it.
know. It was like so weird. I'm like, you're putting on really scary situations. I know like that's what the WSB does, but we're not used to people actually like
He
completing the mission efficiently.
exactly. So, but he wants her to like find things. And he's like, so if it's not in his house that you broke into, it could be at another location. And then Johnny's like, I thought he wanted her to find it herself. And I'm like,
I
well, he's
know.
like he's giving her hints. But I'm sure people went crazy when in Joss's research, she's like, hey, Lucas, who you absolutely knew wasn't living in town at the time. Um, do you know Gatlin Austin Hostin? You know that guy. And because those were like when they were having all those transitions, that was one of those storylines that everyone's like, but who killed him? Like he got
Right?
killed, and then someone was sending creepy notes to Ava trying to frame her, and then nothing. They were like, nobody cares anymore. But I remember Brennan being there, and he had a little friend, and then the little friend was talking about Austin. So like I don't think Cyrus killed Austin. I had assumed it was the little guy with Brennan.
Okay.
And but we don't know. But now it looks like everything could be Cyrus. Everything's coming up
Everything,
Cyrus.
everything.
And now Cyrus thinks Joss is Elizabeth. And that's gonna be perfect because if he goes after Elizabeth, Lucky's gonna be like, I save you.
So true.
Yeah. And then it's like you guys all should have worked together though. Like Lucas knows stuff about
I
Cyrus in the
know.
hospital. Anyways,
It's
I think
I
the show
think
works
like next week they're gonna slowly come together because now Elizabeth knows Joss's involvement.
yes.
So it's slowly coming together.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there was a moment. There was a moment.
Just a moment.
And I was like, I feel like that's for me. Because okay, so we have like the Brad stuff.
Yeah.
And like, look, we saw that Stella creates this like unlikely relationship, but there was a scene where I was like, this is so weird because it's like Carly and Stella are supposed to be close. Like Stella was close with the Corinthos family. Stella was also present during the whole Wiley stuff,
Oh.
I think. And so I'm like, so why would you like be like, oh, Lucas, look at your
Look at the
ex-husband and his
muscles.
muscles. I thought that was so odd, or like no Carly interaction. But I do find the connection of fitness makes sense. Like that I liked because we know that Stella does yoga. I can appreciate
Yes.
that. So I do find it funny that they have that little thing in common so much.
You get it, guys.
But my favorite was like you're having all this Brad stuff, right? So Brad and what it means for like let's say the whole funny Carly Lucas duo. Then there's Brad in the context of Portia and Curtis. And this is what I felt was for me. So Curtis is like, wait a second, Portia, something's off. You hate that guy and you treated him professionally. What's going on? And then,
How dare you?
and then she's like, nothing. And then he's like, I'm so concerned because like Stella's friends with Brad. Ugh, I'm gonna get involved. Hey, Brad, are you like Selena still in touch? Is Selena a danger to my family? I'm like, oh, there he is, completely off the mark. I'm like, I knew he was in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
it was
I knew
there. It
there
was
was
there.
no way he could be like insightful, suddenly understand power dynamics, run a company. I needed to know Curtis was still in there somewhere and off the mark about stuff.
Yeah, I do feel that was for you because you said too many good things last week.
I know he got
Yeah.
a star.
He did though. He really did. A big one.
Yeah. Trina's still trying to send everybody she can to visit Kai.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
she's very optimistic.
she's like, Mom, can you go see Kai? Okay, I think I have another trick up my sleeve. Dad, can you go
Dad!
see Kai?
Just like, what is happening?
And then his like Delulu friend who's like, no, you can't give up. And I'm like, okay, or you could like be there for your friend and be like, how
Oh,
are you?
he was such a a-hole. Like, I was just
Like,
not impressed with that friend.
Kai is only football. He's not good for anything else. If he can't do this, he's gonna have no life. And I was like, okay.
It
And then he
felt
was,
like, how dare you put thoughts in his brain?
oh yeah, he's like, you stole him. And it's like, God forbid, like his friend like have other interests or like
Right?
do the school part of
Jeez.
school. And so it was just so funny. He's like, it's all because of you and art history. And then you made him bad at football. You made him care about other things, but focus. And I was like,
What is
so he did
happening?
it. So for me, I'm like, so he attended no other classes. So
Apparently.
it was just art history. He's playing he like no other classes will split your focus. You can take math, you can take philosophy, but what'll kill you, what will physically harm you is art history.
Oh, yeah. Stay away from it. It's scary.
Dangerous, dangerous.
Mm.
The canvases are heavy. Oh my
Oh.
gosh, can I just say, oh, something is happening that I said was happening or that I thought could happen. I'll tell you what that is.
Okay, I was like, would you
So,
like to share with the rest of the
yeah.
class? Okay.
Yes, I would. So, like, when Jordan was approaching, like, Jen's, I was like, I mean, obviously she has a mission to take down a criminal, but I was like, does she want funding for things?
Oh,
Because the
yeah, that's
Esplanade kind of
true.
screwed up Curtis. So I wondered if, like, because that's the thing, Jens wants to ingratiate himself to Port Charles, and there's no better way than funding the Esplanade. But I didn't think that he would go there and actually negotiate with Drew. I just
Yes.
thought that like he would get wind of this project and that he would know that the people would want it. Maybe he hears Jordan talking about it and that he would swoop in, do the Esplanade, screw Drew because he's trying to stall the project.
Yes.
And then he would do it, kind of like legitimize himself further. So he'd be like the other heart of gold, criminal, non-criminal in Port Charles.
Mm-mm.
But anyways, he already had his eye on the Esplanade and he had his eye on Natalia. So that's confirmation.
That was scary.
It was so scary. I thought it was the nurse though. So look, we got Sunny and we have a 3-month deadline. And we have a necessary surgery. So we have a health crisis. We have a
Yeah.
solution to the health crisis. So there's an answer, right? So there's something that's wrong. We have an answer, but there's like a time limit as to when this needs to happen. But whatever
Yes.
happens, there is a solution.
Yes.
And then Johnny asked me something. I was like, obviously, Johnny. He's like, do you think like Dante would take over? And I'm like, yeah. Like we've talked about this before. That like because we talked about how like Dante was feeling frustrated with his job and there was a point where he
Yes.
wanted to leave, but then Anna pulled him back in. But now we have another opening with this whole Sam thing, and depending on how they get justice. So if Dante is working with Jason, it could kind of lure him to that side a little bit, or maybe he'll kind of like lose faith in whatever. But I mean, yeah, don't you think? Or I was like, or do you think Christina?
It could be maybe like a co and co mob type situation, like co-manager and co-manager, because I feel like they're both in
I
a
see
place
it.
where they want to see justice done, but they'll work together so that they keep each other like not too dark.
Also, they're his only adult children
Yeah.
left. Because like it's
Oh,
funny.
bingo.
Bada bing, bada boom, we solved it. Process of elimination. Because in the past it would have been like a Morgan Michael, right?
Yes, absolutely.
One would have been more in, maybe one a little bit more out. But like let's say like Michael would have been legit, Morgan would have been doing that, but you still would have been like helping a little bit. And
Yes.
so I mean, I think it makes sense that it's Dante, but it would be kind of insane given like Sam's death and like
Right?
Rocco. But like, I don't know what this means now. Cause like, I think it's cool because, of course, it sucks that Sam was murdered, but it allows for room for like the boys to bond. And Dante's always been respectful. Like, even when Sam would talk bad about Jason and like Cody talking bad about Jason, Dante has always had like a really big space in his heart
Oh yeah.
for Jason. So like, And also the fact that like they're really creating this whole like what if for Dante it really is about family. Like, yes, there's all these risks involved, but what if like
Mhm.
things get really bad? Like, what if helping and saving the community is taking Sunny's place? Like, we all know it's dangerous if Sunny's out of power. It's so dangerous that
Yes.
nobody can find out about his heart problem or they're going to come after his family. So, what if it's like on the heels of discovering who harmed Sam and like his dad having a medical crisis and things kind of going belly up? And for the first time, you don't necessarily have like all those things in place. Like you had Michael, you had Carly, you have like Brick, but like all those people that typically circled around are getting further away. Michael's not there. And so
Mhm.
like enter plus you got the like Christina Lucky combo. Oh, Lucky.
Yes.
Anyways, you got the Christina Lucky combo plus Dante. Like I mean, they could figure it out, those three.
Oh yeah, big time.
And Jason. Like Jason doesn't want to be involved, but like I don't know what's gonna go down. But yeah,
Isn't
we're
it?
on
Oh
a
gosh, I'm gonna have to guide these newbies,
yeah, so
get
we're on
them
a
an orientation.
yeah, this is interesting because they're really saying like Sunny can't do this forever. And I
No,
feel like it's a countdown to the replacement of like in the mob area anyway.
yeah, it's pretty interesting that we've watched it this long to
Yeah.
be seen with us. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm looking over my notes. I'm looking at the things. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any favorite lines?
Oh, let me see. Watch there be none. I'm like, excited for nothing. Um, okay. It's actually a very sad line.
Oh, okay. I'll let
So
you go first then. So I will wrap this up with happiness.
yeah, so this is like to the Alexis scenes with
Oh
Sunny.
my.
So
Mm.
Gold Star. She wrote
Oh yeah.
she said I hate this world. I hate a world where someone could randomly kill my daughter. I don't know why I wrote that down, guys. And I don't know why I'm sharing it right now. But like,
No, but it was beautiful, and
yeah.
that scene with them together, like we know how far they come. We know what her opinion is of him, but at the end of the day, like he understands that loss and what that feeling is,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was very raw and real.
Do you notice that they're re-solidifying Sunny loyalty all around?
Oh yeah, big time.
Between Alexis and Sunny, even Anna towards Sunny, even Laura towards Sunny.
Hmm.
I don't know what that means. But also, it was really cool. They explicitly brought up the I love you sign that Sam made when she was wheeled off. Remember when she was wheeled off and
I do.
we thought it was like the like rock star sort of sign.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then so this and then I explained it to Johnny that like yeah, people were all saying it was the I love you sign and I explained those scenes back when like Sam had temporarily lost her hearing and Molly was showing her sign language and then her and Jason did it to each other. But it was so funny that they made a point of confirming what that was.
Yeah.
They really like there's a lot of detail in there.
I love that. I really
Yeah.
do. My favorite line, it was when all the drama was happening at the Metro Court, and then Drew has the audacity to walk up to the deception table, and he says, "Should my ears be burning?" And Lucy says, "Actually, your entire head should be burning."
like I just don't even know why he did that. And like Maxie was really nice. Like she didn't say anything about like Nina.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did that. And oh my gosh, there are so many stars. Like I said earlier on, my favorite scenes were Elizabeth and Lucky, Carly and Nina, Lois, Joss just being like a super spy or at least trying to. A creepy star to Cyrus because when he was just had his eyes locked on Elizabeth in that last scene today, it was
Mhm.
intense.
Yeah, I'm scared for her.
Super scared.
So many stars.
All of the stars. Oh my gosh, folks. That's a wrap. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye.
Bye.